Hello all, welcome back to the BioRock channel. Today we'll be learning about bryophytes. So, bryophytes are one of the divisions under the subkingdom cryptogamy. So let me come like this. First thing is we know that we have a kingdom Plantae, right? And the kingdom Plantae has the subkingdom, which is called as the cryptogamy. This is a cryptogamy, and we have next is our division, and under the division of this, that is under the cryptogamy, we have three divisions here. One is going to be thallophyta. Okay, thallophyta. Next is going to be your bryophyta, and lastly we have pteridophyta. So we already have learned the examples of the algae and their divisions under the Thalophyta. So now we'll be learning about the Bryophyta. Okay. So the first point about the bryophytes that we need to know is this term was actually being coined by Mr. Robert Braun. Robert Braun. And looking at these are the most primitive non-vascular land plants. Okay, they are non-vascular. They do not have the vascular tissue like xylem and phloem. So they are non-vascular, okay, land plants. These are first ones to come on the land. So these are the non-vascular land plants. And basically these are called as amphibians, amphibians of the plant kingdom. Okay, so these are the amphibians of the plant kingdom because they need water for the fertilization of their gametes. Okay, especially these require water for fertilization process, fertilization, because the ones that we are going to see is for the fertilization, because the antherozoids are flagellated, okay, which represent the aquatic origin of the bryophytes. This is what we need to know here. These aquatic, that is amphibians of the plant kingdom, which are the bryophytes, these require the water for the fertilization because the antherozoids, which are actually the male gametes, okay, the male gametes are flagellated. Okay. And secondly, what they require is they require water for movement, right? So they require water. So this is nothing but they require water for fertilization because they need to swim. Okay, they need to swim. Now, secondly, that we are going to see is they are going to have a root-like long tubular structures. Okay, they have root-like long tubular cells they have. These are none other than rhizoids. So bryophytes are going to have rhizoids. And the other thing that we can see is these are going to be green, okay, and these are going to be even photosynthetic. They're going to be even photosynthetic. But important thing here is, children, bryophytes are non-vascular, as well as they do not have mechanical tissues. What are the mechanical tissues of the plant system? They are the collenchyma and the sclerenchyma. So both collenchyma as well as sclerenchyma are not found in bryophytes. Only the simple parenchymatous tissue is found here. And they show heteromorphic, different formed structures which are making up the alternation of generations. Okay, because the gametophyte is completely different from that of your sporophyte. So you can see that they have a haploid gametophyte alternating with the diploid diploid sporophyte diploid sporophyte. So we call this as alternation of generation, and they're completely different from each other. So heteromorphic alternation of generations. And here the important point is gametophyte is going to be the dominating, okay, stage. So the gametophyte is going to be a dominant phase in bryophytes. Dominant phase is going to be the gametophyte. And sexual reproduction is through, obviously, we are seeing the male and the female, so it's going to be oogamous. Okay, this is going to be through oogamous. And another important point that I need to specify here is going to be this one. So let me put a double star mark and give you that their sex organs are multicellular. Multicellular. Okay, and they are jacketed. They are covered by a jacket. But whereas in Thalophyta, we told it was non-jacketed, right? Now, another point here is the male sex organ. The male sex organ is called as antheridium. We call it as antheridium. And the female sex organ is being called as archegonium. Archegonium. And these sporophytes, okay, the sporophyte is called as sporogonium, okay. Sporophyte. Sporophyte is called as sporogonium. Sporogonium. And this is going to produce the haploid spores. Haploid spores. And vegetative propagation of these is going to be through the fragmentation process. Okay, fragmentation, or even through tubers. And basically, we see in our textbooks about the gamma. Okay, the gamma cups. This is about the bryophytes. So what we'll do is we'll even learn about the bryophyte life cycle here. Bryophyte life cycle. Okay, children. So talking about the bryophyte life cycle, before that, I would like to give you examples of the bryophytes of our syllabi. That is going to be your liverworts, which is being called as merchantia. And the next one we are going to have is called as mosses. So then now I'm going to talk about the bryophyte life cycle. So the thing that I'll be considering here is going to be about the moss or the mosses. So what we'll do is, children, I told you that they are going to have two stages, right? They are showing alternation of generations. They show a haploid gametophyte and they show a diploid sporophyte, right? So what I'll do is, what is the dominant phase I told you? The dominant phase is going to be the gametophyte, right? This is a dominant phase. So since it is dominant, I'll take it above, okay? So I'm taking the gametophyte now. So I'm writing a dominant phase here. Dominant is going to be the gametophyte. So the green colored mosses that you see outside is actually the gametophyte. Okay. So the gametophyte, you can have the male gametophyte. We have the female gametophyte, right? Okay. And these gametophytes are going to produce what? Actually, a male gametophyte is going to have many of the antheridia. Okay. They are going to have many antheridium. And female gametophyte is going to also have many of the archegonia or archegonium. Okay, children. Now, these antheridium, what they produce is they produce motile antherozoids, okay, motile antherozoids, which are flagellated. These are flagellated motile, and these can be considered like sperms, okay, the antherozoids. Okay, these are the antherozoids, or what we consider as sperms. And these are going to be haploid in nature because the gametophyte is also haploid, okay? So they undergo basically mitotic cell division, mitosis, mitosis, okay? Mitosis. And they produce an egg, which is also going to be haploid. Now, what happens here is, here speaking about the flagellated ones, the motile flagellated sperms or antherozoids only seen till the bryophytes, okay? But when I'll talk about the angiosperms, gymnosperms, these all are going to have the male gametes which do not have flagella, which do not have flagella. That is what is important to understand. Now, the egg, the sperms, they are going to fertilize, right? They are going to get fertilized. And when these are going to fertilize, what happens is this results in formation of your sporophyte. Okay, so this results in the formation of sporophyte, which is a diploid structure. Okay, children. And these sporophytes, now what they do is they are going to produce spores which are haploid. So basically they undergo meiosis, right? They're undergoing meiosis. Now these spores develop into the gametophyte. Now let me show you the gametophyte first. So we have some rhizoids. Okay, we have a stalk. We have these green bud-like structures we have. These are the basic rhizoids here. This whole structure is going to be the gametophyte. Now, in the gametophyte at the top, you are going to see the archegonia and the antheria, right? So, in the archegonia, we can see the fertilized egg. Okay, the fertilized egg is going to be in the archegonium. So, it is bearing the fertilized egg. And this fertilized egg is going to develop into what? Into a long structure which is being called as sporophyte with a capsule. This is going to be your capsule, which is going to dehisce to release the spores, right? So the capsule is very important in this. So this whole structure growing on a gametophyte is going to be sporophyte. So gametophyte is haploid, sporophyte is diploid. And sporophyte, since it is growing on the gametophyte, so sporophyte is going to derive water. So it is deriving what all? The water as well as food from the gametophyte. Okay, sporophyte is dependent on the gametophyte. So this is the life cycle of the bryophytes. So they have haploid gametophyte producing the gametes which fertilize and produce a diploid sporophyte which undergoes meiosis to produce spores, and these spores germinate to form a gametophyte again. Okay, children, these are the points for your bryophyte life cycle. Okay, these are the ones you need to understand and remember about these particular bryophytes here. And basic examples are going to be the liver warts, which are being called as merchantia. Okay, and the next one is going to be the mosses. Okay, the green mosses. Now, children, let me show you all the slides of merchantia and the mosses such that will make a better understanding of these bryophytes. So what I'll do is, let me show you the mosses here. Okay. Yeah, these are the mosses, the beautiful view of the mosses where you can see the gametophyte, right, children? So these are the gametophyte green colored structures, okay? And the one which is arising from top of the gametophyte and having these structures are being called as capsules, which are going to have spores and dehiscent produce the spores. And when they fall on a suitable substratum, they again germinate into a gametophyte. You can see that these mosses are growing on these trees bark, right? They're growing on the tree barks. And you need to remember that mosses along with the lichens, they are the ones actually who colonize the rocks, and they are going to decompose the rocks, and they make it sustainable for the growth of the plants. Okay, this is very very important. I hope you love this image because this has blown my mind. It was a very beautiful image that I could get it with the gametophyte and a sporophyte growing. And sporophyte is parasite because it depends upon the gametophyte for its food, and that is for the nutrition and for the minerals. Let me show you the mosses growing on the rocks. Okay, so these you can see the beautiful mosses growing on the rock here. Okay, these are the structure that is a mosses. Next, talking about, we have the liverwort, which is being called as the merchantia. So in merchantia, you can see these cup-like structures, children. These are the gemmacups, which are the vegetative propagation through which they undergo. And these are the thallus structures. See these. These are the thallus that you can see, the leaf-like structures, the thallus. You can see here also the thallus, right? This is the thallus, the leaf-like structure that you are able to see is the thallus. So these are the green structures, thalluses. We have the female gametophyte called as archegonia, and this is going to be the antheridium. Let me show you the female gametophyte. So this is the female gametophyte of Mertantia, and these are the male gametophytes which grow on the top of your, see, you can see they're growing on the top of the tip of this particular thalli body of the gametophyte. Okay, this is about the Merchantia, which is being called as a liverwort. I hope, children, I made it clear for you all about the bryophytes. If you liked the video, do hit the like button. Please do share, subscribe, and comment in the comment section how it helped you. Thank you all.